WP aliens invade Earth, only to be repelled by the wildlife.
A-47 squadron landed, about to scout the landing site. Affirmative A-47, report back with the findings. The three crafts hissed violently as they touched down as gas from the landing gear gently kissed the surface. They had landed among some small green structures, presumably vegetation. The ground was moist with a substance unseen on distant Tull. The visitors disembarked, climbing slowly down ramps that slid seamlessly from the crafts. 18 creatures in total descended to the planet's surface, wearing biosuits that mimicked the bodies within. No difference in pressure, atmosphere, or soil composition could harm them, and, for anything else, they had weapons and their minds. They had seen the planet by night as they had observed in orbit. What looked green, gray, and brown by day became a brilliant web of sparkling light. A civilization that could spread across such a vast globe would be greatly beneficial to them. Tullians, and with nothing but primitive space travel, they would be easily subjugated. The leader of the squadron breathed in deeply. It felt good to be outside, to stretch his legs. Even though he was still stuffed inside this pulsing biosuit, he could still enjoy the fresh air he knew was just a skin's breadth away. The scientists began to take readings. They had prepared for this 1,000 times, making sure that they knew the right procedures. What to do when it would go off without a hitch. They were just about to make camp for the night when one of the machines gave off a strange signal. It's detected a shockwave not far from here, the chief scientist explained. We are near a fault line. I'm sure it's just a minor earthquake. The squad leader nodded slowly, but felt uneasy all the same. There was something about the reading that felt ominous. They had been here nearly 40 Tullian hours, although apparently hours and days were much longer here, and hadn't experienced anything like it. He felt sure that something as low as that reading would be a common occurrence. He thought again about the landing site. Was it really a good idea to place it next to a fault, or so close to a settlement? Although truth be told, he had expected to at least see it by now. They were apparently right on it, and no sign of the inhabitants. He assumed they had miscalculated, and knew they hadn't. The machine gave the reading again, and again, and again, and again. He didn't like this. The scientists were panicking. What was happening? Stupid boffins. They were here for situations like this, and they knew nothing. The vegetation parted and cold, unfeeling eyes stared down at them. Fire, fire now. Try and get it away. Get back to the ship. But it was no use. The rays of heat seemed to make the creature angry, and it gave a clear message. You shouldn't make me angry. The creature dove headfirst into the leader and grabbed him firmly in its jaws. He could feel immense pressure all around him. He blacked out. It's cut him in half, the chief scientist said. The beast has cut him in half. They ran, but the crafts were batted around like playthings. Each invader fell, one by one. More beasts came, and picked up the stragglers. The air was filled with a mighty caw as the chief scientist looked up at his fate. He screamed into the transmitter, abort, abort. This planet is hostile to life, abort. The transmitter fell from his hands as a beak deftly picked him up and swallowed him whole. A-47, come in. Do you read me? A-47, do you read me? KZZT, the transmitter cut out. The invasion was cancelled. The crows flew back to the telephone wire and resumed their bickering.